It's that time of the week. The weather's set in. I'll tell you what, it is freaking freezing. I'm down here in Melbourne. Hopefully we get some of you on tuning in. Really cool episode tonight. Actually, we're going to dive into the finals football a bit earlier to let you know what teams are in the running for, in our opinion, what teams may as well just pack up and book their holiday to Bali because they won't be playing finals football as well. And we'll talk about, there's a lot of rumours and things like that around at the moment, player signings. Everyone loves that sort of stuff, I've realised. And we'll touch on it a little bit at the start and just talk about our opinions on certain matters of the game at the moment. But yeah, bear with us. Hopefully my internet's good. I don't know. I've never been in this hotel with the Wi-Fi, so I don't know what it's going to be like. But fingers crossed it is all good. Mick is in a trance concert still. He's trying to fix things, but he'll get with us soon. His voice hopefully is all good. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Adam, I'll throw to you first while Mika's internet just sorts itself out and catches up to us. How's your week been? We'll straight away get straight into it. What caught your eye as well for the week?
Yeah, just firstly, Andrew, you could have said 6 songs, so we could have gone 6 more songs. 6 more songs. But you said 5. He's gone. It's going to turn into a personal, this is your life between Adam and Joel. I don't know why it keeps coming out. I'm pretty sure the internet in our area is just completely screwed because mine was being weird as well. But anyway, he'll be back. So what caught my eye off the field is how poor the New South Wales hospital system is. Went to a couple of different hospitals late on Monday night with a young fella, and so many people there that could just go to a normal doctor but want to get a free hospital visit and are happy to sit there for 5-6 hours. Not me. We ended up paying for the private one, but absolute joke of a system. What caught my eye on the field? It's probably that Penrith game, to be honest. Just Cleary's clutch moment once again. I got home from a local footy game just to catch it in time, and as far as we knew, they were going to get pumped. They were getting absolutely pumped. Penrith, the Dolphins are killing them. Then he come through clutch again with a big play, and he just keeps doing it. The whole ice in the veins thing, but it's actually true. Under pressure, for a club, under pressure, I will say, he's absolutely brilliant.
He's an absolute gun. He's sort of...
You caught your eye, Michael.
We'll get some crickets there. Who knows what he's doing in the background, but he'll be on shortly, hopefully. I was going sort of the same sort of way. I was going to talk about the Cleary field goal, but I was going to talk about it. The comparison straight away started happening between him and Moses in Origin and all that sort of stuff. And I just want to say, can't we just enjoy having 2 absolute class playmakers at the moment, the sevens, both having Moses obviously arguably won the series for New South Wales, and then Nathan Cleary came up with that ice moment on the weekend. So we've got 2 just absolute killing playmakers, just absolutely killing it, and I love it. I think we should just get around it. I'm sick of the comparison straight away. We've got 9 months until Origin's back on. Let's not worry about that yet, and we'll see, because the injuries always happen. There'll be someone out. There'll be something happening, and we'll go from there. The last 3 years, apparently, it's been Turbo and Latrell centers for sure, and they haven't been able to line up for most of those series. So let's just enjoy it, please. Mika, hopefully your dance rave concert's finished. What caught your eye this week, apart from your dodgy internet?
It's been cold. I haven't been interested in footy. What caught my eye in footy? Bateman going back to the UK. Caught my eye.
We're touching on that.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that happened. That's how old footy I am.
Yeah. When is he gone? We'll talk about it later. But yeah, that's the one that caught me. Was like, whoa. Yeah.
Is that it? Is that all caught your eye?
Yeah, I've had a pretty quiet week. I've been sick.
Yeah.
Asthmatic. It's just been pumping me.
The weather as well. You just want to stay indoors. It's just too cold. I've been in Sydney on the weekend. Now I'm at Melbourne. I don't know how you guys do it. It's too freaking cold for my liking. You did mention it, Mika. We're going to get into some of these little rumours that have been floating around, a bit of the signing news, a bit of the new league news. I think it's good to touch on this moving forward. A lot of people want to know our thoughts and stuff. And we'll touch on the Bateman one first. So just to inform Adam, who isn't sure what's happened. So he's actually gone off to Sam Burgess's, I've had a mental blank on the team he coaches at the moment.
Wigan.
Wigan. No, Where was it?
Is it Wigan or Warrington?
No, Warrington. Sorry, yeah, Warrington. There you go. The blue and yellow, Warrington. So he's apparently gone over there for the rest of the year on some weird loan. But there's, if you watch NRL 360 tonight, they're basically saying he won't be back. It's just there's been some friction between him and Benji for a while now. Things simmered to the surface last week, I'm pretty sure, and off he goes. So Bateman's to the Super League once again. He's back there, and I don't think we'll ever see him back in the NRL ever again. Mika, I'll go to you first because you did know about the story and you obviously wanted to raise some other points. So off you go.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I don't think he's ever really lived up to the hype at the Tigers of him coming back. Like they were sort of pretty proud of that signing and thought they were going to thought he's going to help toughen them up a bit. But it's weird. Something must have gone down because he still had 2 years to go on his contract or something, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, still has 2 more years. It's
yeah. So I don't know. It's weird. Surely he's not coming back at his age. Like he's not going over there and
done.
I don't know.
Got to be done.
It was weird. It was weird. I do miss his white skin running around though when he first come back over here. It was like watching Adam run around for the Tigers.
Leave us alone. Leave us alone.
That first came back, I had to put sunglasses on to watch the footy. His legs were that white.
The thing is with Bateman, like I know he did this at Canberra as well. He claimed to be homesick, but I think he's got a legit reason to be homesick. I know he's got a daughter who's not in his custody much at all, who's obviously stayed in England both times he's come across here. I think he's come across here because he wants to play at the highest level, but obviously had limited visitation with her then, and I know they brought her across a bit, and I think he's gone back a couple of times, and you realise how hard that would be for him going back, every time he goes back or every time she comes across, how hard it would be saying goodbye. I find it hard enough saying goodbye to my son for a week and he's 10 minutes away, let alone a 24-hour flight. So, yeah, I get it. I don't know why he actually come back. Obviously, the money was too good to refuse and maybe feel like he had unfinished business, but I think that's where he stays now. I think it's where his game's suited as well. I think his game's much more suited to that English style. Like,
he's in pretty good form at the Raiders, though.
He was, yeah. It was more shocking when he left, but I guess if things aren't going anyway on the football field, it's probably easier to, let it get you off the football field as well. So everything else going on in his life, which he's openly come out and spoken about, it's probably too hard for him to, put it away this time with things not really going well on the field. English style is a lot more like rugby union in a way, a lot of ruck hit-ups, and then when they decide to spread the ball, they actually use it. And he's much more suited for that game over there. As being, a second rower over there, he can take those tough carries, but he can put that flair on when they don't expect it. That's why he has such an impact over there. So, yeah, I think it'll suit him.
Yeah, 100%. Just a quick couple of questions coming. Marcus, I'll tell you now, if we can keep getting everyone around the page, rally around it, keep liking and commenting on the content, sharing it, listening, getting the subscribers up, getting us up to 1K on YouTube is a huge goal of ours at the moment. And getting some sponsors on board, we'll get over to Vegas either next year or the year after. And I promise you now, we'll give you some of the best content you've ever seen. So keep getting around us, guys, because I tell you what, it's the.
I don't think you can film that content, Joel. I don't think it's legal.
Trust me, there'll be some stuff out there that you boys will boys and girls want to get around, and I'll promise you now, you get us up to where we want to be, guys, and we'll give you what you want. So, and Chris, yeah, we will be getting around the women's stuff. We won't talk too much on it this week just because it's before the first game, but from next week, we will definitely talk a bit more on it. It'll be easy to talk about. We've seen some things. Obviously, a bit of news today with one of the para girls, which I don't really want to touch on, but hey, that club's just destined for it at the moment. So anyway.
I'm just glad she wasn't my neighbour.
Yeah, well, imagine that over Uber Eats. Goodness me. Next up, I know there's a few para fans on, so I'll have to touch on it. Matt Arthur's obviously seeked the release today. Gornsky's from the club at the end of the year. Knights have been rumoured. I haven't seen it confirmed yet, but I've pretty much seen it everywhere now that he's going to the Newcastle Knights. And apparently Brad Arthur's going to follow as assistant coach over next year, which I don't know how that's going to work out. But apparently him and O'Brien are best mates. O'Brien's a godfather for BA's daughter or something I heard tonight. So they're real close, which is interesting because we all know Adam O'Brien's probably under a bit of pressure, and that can probably test the friendship there a little bit. Mika, I'll talk to you about the Matt Arthur released side of things because I know you're pretty passionate about this. I wish there was times where I could screenshot some of the chats we have and post it out because people would then know what I'm talking about with this sort of stuff. And you get fired up and I love it. So I'm hoping that it continues tonight.
Yeah, it fucking pissed me off. I think it shows how weak our club is. I don't care that his dad went. I don't care that his dad got fired. The club should have said, we've invested too much time. Our long-time prospect at hooker, you're fucking staying until we find a proper replacement for you. Lace on your boots and suck it the fuck up. That's what we should have told him. I don't care. I don't care that his dad got sacked. Everyone's going, oh, we didn't treat his dad right. Well, how else do you sack someone? Like, it's a pretty standard rugby league coach sacking, if you ask me. And while I am thankful for what BA did at our club, it was definitely time for him to go. So, yeah, they should have fucking dug their heels in like Dragons did with Ben Hunt. You think Ben Hunt? Do you think the Dragons think they wish they let Ben Hunt go a year ago, or you think they're glad they dug their heels in and kept him? Like, fuck. Stupid. So stupid. So in 6 months, we just lost the under-19s halfback and the under-19s hooker and captain. Like, that's why I'm pissed off and frustrated. And because to me, it's also for a pretty shitty excuse. What, he's just going to follow his dad around every NRL club now? Like, fucking please.
Well, Darius did it. Darius did it every club his dad went to.
Did he break contracts to do it though, or did he just sort of go?
He did.
Did he?
He did.
Nah, he broke.
Yeah.
He broke.
He was released.
Yeah. Anyway, I just shit.
I called this as soon as Brad got sacked that this would happen. I said on the Talking Para one. I knew it had happened because, and then obviously speaking to Brad as well, I saw how disgruntled he was at the club as well and how he was taking it. Watching Matt's debut at Newcastle and watching his dad have to walk away in tears. It comes down to this, and Matt's made a decision. Whether I agree with how the club's acted on things, I don't think they did everything perfectly in relation to the Arthur sacking. But like Michael said, there's no easy way to sack someone. The other thing I don't think they've done well is they've dragged out this coach process, which means Matt's just let this build up without knowing who his coach was going to be and having someone come in and talk to him about, their plans for him next year and all this stuff. To the point, by the time Morales come in and did that, he's probably made the decision. But if I had to make a decision and choose between a career and something that would affect my family, I know what I'd be choosing. And that's what he's had to do. If he stayed at Parramatta long-term, it was going to affect his relationship with his dad. So I don't blame Matt. Do I agree the club could have tried to keep him there? Yeah, they could have. But like I said, I think the club's trying to distance himself as much from Arthur's as they can, due to the fact they're trying to make Brad the scapegoat of what's going on at the club at the moment. And this is just more of an example of it. If Matt stays there, he's unhappy. They're worried he's going to sabotage things or whatever, because that's exactly what a 19-year-old kid's going to do. Then, it kind of puts the pressure back on the club if they start to do that in a way. So that's why they've let him go, released him without really saying anything. The frustrating thing was when we let go of Reed, because we had good young hookers coming through. Now, apparently, we're letting go of him because we've got good young hookers coming through. I'm sorry, but by the time these players get to play first grade and then develop as first graders, our players like Moses, and some of our forwards have still got a little bit left in them. They're going to be done. So we're going to be waiting for our good young halves to come through and our good young front rowers, and it just shows how big the rebuild's going to be.
Another thing too, quickly, sorry, Joel, the Arthurs bleed blue and gold to me now means fuck all. Because if they were really about that club, Arthur would be Matt Arthur, who's been there since he's 10 or some shit. He wouldn't want to fucking leave. Doesn't matter where his dad is. He'd be wanting to put that jersey on and pull us out of the shit.
Is it the jersey though, or is it the people there at the club? I think it's the people there at the club, Mika.
Yeah,
and I understand what you're saying. I completely get what you're saying, but one thing I will say is Brad got us out of a lot. I will never question Brad's love for the club because I think he did a lot for the club. It just became to the point where we just needed to freshen up and look at now where it's got to, how stale the place is. I understand what Matt's going through and why he's decided. Apparently he did go to the club and say, I can't do this anymore and needed to go. So I get what Adam's saying there with the personal side of things as well. For a club point of view, though, as you rightly point out, Mika, we've lost two of the best youngsters coming up in the grade now in the same year when we were told literally 12 to 18 months ago, these are our future players, and how excited it was to get around our SG ball side that was doing so well, winning comps and stuff. And this is such a good core group of players we've got coming through. We've lost half of them already with Blaze potentially on the outer. If you're listening to the latest rumours, he's potentially got one foot out the door already. So how are we supposed to sit back and just take all this? I think it's a lot of frustration, which is understandable, but I do get why Matt's decided to do what he has done. But my frustration goes towards not the Arthurs, but the club and the way
also,
that they're dealing.
I get that too.
Club,
I completely understand that. I am just frustrated at the club in general, but I think it's shut up, boy. I think because we have
spit it out today, Junior.
We have lost so many of what they promised. I think that was just the final straw for me because I've been talking up Matt Arthur since Reid Marnie left and going, we're going to be all right. We've got this Matt Arthur kid we've been working on for years. Like, I think it was just a straw that broke the camel's back. I'm just sick of seeing that shit happen over and over and over again.
Well, it's a huge slap in the face to us because we're supposed to get excited about these kids and then they're all gone again. And we get told 18 months ago, I think it was, we got that open letter saying we're going to stop this stuff. People are not going to poach our best juniors. It's happened again.
Yeah.
But what are you talking about? Our junior pathways are in the best place they've been for years, Joel.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Look, and the club knew this was going to happen a long time ago. I'd say before Matt even made his debut, the club knew as soon as Brad was gone that Matt was going to go. Because the vibe I got around it. So, and just on regards to the Newcastle thing, he will sign for Newcastle. I got that information coming from Newcastle pretty much minutes after I saw Michael sent me a thing that he'd been officially released or free to negotiate. He's going to Newcastle, and I reckon there's a fair chance that Brayley could end up at Parramatta. I'm okay with that because I rate him as a player, but fuck, he's got to stay injury-free.
I don't want to turn this into a big Paris segment, but I just want to ask you one more question, which has been floating around a lot in the last couple of weeks, and it was this one here raised by Marcus. He feels like Brad should have stayed out the year, and I have seen a lot of people since everything has happened say that this should have been what happened and treat him with the respect and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think people realize what that actually comes. So it's all good in theory to say, oh, yeah, you have the rest of the year to really hit it off and go for that premiership and stuff, like all well and good. But I don't know if it was that easy, was it? Like we were struggling. We weren't playing good football. The place was stale.
Should have gone last year.
Yeah.
End of last year. When that happened last year, that it should have been then. They should have pulled the trigger then.
It should have been last year.
We can see it, and we're fans. How can't the board see it?
Don't know.
Well, they wanted to give him a chance to turn things around if you listen to their press conference. And the thing I don't like about the Brad Arthur sacking, and we can say it was done poorly or whatever, they made a decision 3 weeks before they told the bloke. That's 3 wasted weeks. This coaching saga of trying to find a coach dragged on for so long. They obviously had a 3-week head start, but, we could have been 3 weeks ahead of where we are. So things like this Matt Arthur thing, for example, it might never happen because that's, once again, a chance for a coach to talk to him. I think if they didn't get rid of Brad at the end of last year, they should have let him see the year out because nothing's changed. The same shit's happening with Trent there. They're probably gotten worse, to be honest. I know they've had injuries and stuff since, but he made some changes, some forced changes, but it's still exactly the same. It's the same players not putting in. It's the same players still getting picked. It wouldn't have made a difference if Brad was there at the end of the year. I guess the only difference is Ryle's coming and having a bit of a say now, but that could have happened anyway if Brad was told his time was up.
Yeah, 100%. The last room I want to just have a bit of a chat about, get away from the Paris side of things. Guys, I know there's a lot of frustrated fans on here for Parramatta, and even if you aren't, if you just might feel for us, might be one of those fans actually feel for us. There's not many out there. Go over to the Talking Para podcast. I haven't had a chance to share it yet, but there's a great video that's been put up this evening, which features a lot of our members and fans and voicing their concerns and basically saying enough's enough in a way. So make sure you like it, share it, get across it, add a comment and stuff, and tag the club. Literally just keep tagging the club in it. I don't care. Just tag the club. Make them know. No doubt they've already seen it, but just keep making sure they know how frustrated everyone is, because the club means a lot to all of us here. You can see it in our faces, and it hurts. I know it hurts everyone else watching out there as well, because we love the place, and let's just make sure that they all know that, and they won't be able to get away with this. Last one is Stefano. This has been going on for like 6 months. I don't know what is going on now. So at where we're at, Melbourne Storm were apparently in the box seat. They were just trying to work out money, and Stefano locking in that he wants to be away from like a family down in Melbourne and really focus on getting the best out of his game. The Dolphins came in, has offered him a lot of money apparently, which made them look like a decent prospect, but I think they're probably last in the race at the moment. The Bulldogs are now the surprise newcomers, which I think a lot of us knew was going to come anyway, because they just are lacking of middle, and it means Stefano can stay in Sydney with his family, which is apparently a big thing for him. And then obviously the last one is the Tigers, but the Tigers, they're done. They're not going to, he will not be at the West Tigers next year. I can guarantee you that. So it's out of those three clubs I've mentioned earlier. Adam, where are you at with things with Stefano? Because I just want it to end. Apparently every week we get told it's going to end by Friday, and then Friday comes along on, it's the week after. No, it's the week after.
Yeah, Parramatta's still in the hunt as well, but they're trying to move on RCG to have the money to sign Stefano. Just FYI, but I can't see that happening in time. I think for his career, a team on the up, and to be close to his family, the Bulldogs would be the best place for him to go. You know, the Bulldogs front rowers, they put their asses out there and have a crack every week, but they're not big name players by any, sense of the name or anything like that. So be a good move for him, I think. But I don't know how much cap space they'd have with what they've signed. Like, they've spent some big money lately, and they can only offer so many hotels.
100%. Mika, where are you at with him? I'm with the old man a bit. I feel like Stefano's a bit overrated and doesn't deserve the 800 plus price tag that he's asking for.
Yeah, I think the price tag's still based on potential, isn't it? Same as when Ponga come down to Newcastle. Look, I thought Parramatta weren't going to. I thought I heard early on that they weren't going to entertain giving him that much money. So I'm surprised they're still talking to him. I reckon he'd be a great fit for the Dogs. We've been talking for ages how they need a middle forward to help them get up the field a bit better. And I think the work ethic at the Dogs at the moment and how they tackle their asses off for each other will be good for him as well. Yeah, I'd like to see him at the Dogs. I think he'd be good there. I'd hate to see him go to Melbourne. Fuck Melbourne.
There's the smile.
The other thing is Melbourne are trying to offload Nelson Asafa-Solomona to Parramatta as well. In the way to have space.
No one wants him. Not even the Tigers want Nelson, and that's when you know things are going bad for Nelson.
You'd have to think the Dolphins have got the most room in the cap for him.
Absolutely.
Especially with Flegler's. Is Flegler's future uncertain because of that nerve damage?
Flegler, no, he's out for the whole year.
Yeah.
He reckons he'll be back next year, but who knows?
Yeah, that's going to be watch that space as well.
Yeah. But no one wants Nelson. Like, not even the Tigers are saying yes, and I think it's because of his price tag. Apparently, it's upwards of 800,000. He's lucky to be playing 10 minutes a game at the moment. He's not. The Storm aren't really selling him very well this year. They've literally just palmed him off. If you need to sell a player and get rid of him, play him and make him so clubs feel like, okay, he's worth something to our club. There's no one in the world that wants Nelson with what he's doing. And apparently, like, all I can see happening now is back to rugby, where he's been rumoured to go the last 3 years, but it might finally happen because I don't think an NRL club will even look at that sort of money for him. He's just simply not worth it.
I think he's just become he's another victim of
Super League.
The change in NRL. Like, he's another big-bodied forward. Like, well, not RCG. I think he's been okay, but like Paulo, like he's just another example of a big forward that the game's moved past. So,
Paddy, love you, mate. Love you, mate. You're all we're all just Para fans, but we're hurting, but we're marching on with this show. I tell you, we're getting into the fun part as well. Now we're getting into talking about some finals footy. I'm going to give credit to Adam here live on air because I've been flat out all day driving around, and I thought, crap, I don't know what the hell to talk about tonight. And Adam came up with a brilliant idea. Mika, I was literally almost falling asleep. I had to pull over at one stage. I was very, very tired. But Adam came up with the idea. We'll go through the 5 teams in the finals race. Basically, just give you our thoughts on them if they're a legit chance to make the 8, if they're in that bottom part of things. The top teams we'll probably just talk about if we legit think they're contenders and how we think they'll go. But there's probably about 10 to 11 teams we might go through. Actually, we'll probably have to go down to 13 because technically they're all in the race. I'm comfortable to say now, from the Warriors down, from 14th down, which is 19 points, they're done. I don't think they can make the 8. That's 5 points behind already, so they're done. So we'll work up. We'll go from Adam's favourite team, the Newcastle Knights. As we go through, quickly before we start, just to let everyone know the next 5 games, which I'll post up on the page as well tomorrow. So the Knights have the bye, Penrith away, the West Tigers at home, Sharks away, and South Sydney away. That's their next 5 games. And then obviously there's 2 more games after that. Adam, since they're your favourite team, I'll let you go first with the Knights. And are they alive? Are they gone? Is that how we want to play this game? Or do we want to bring that back? How do we do it?
They're done. They'd have to win, 6 out of 7 games, something like that, 5 out of 7 games with the bye. They play Penrith, they play Cronulla. Been very inconsistent, being absolutely battered. If you believe what's being said, there's major problems at the club with the players fighting with each other, and half the team hates O'Brien, half the team likes him. So Brad Arthur's about to walk in on that mess and probably end up with a job, but they're done. Minus 97 for and against as well won't help them.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew, sorry, Jesse was supposed to be on this one, but he had a late change. I have a Supercoach podcast going at the same time. He's on that one. That'll be uploaded in the morning. So Supercoach players out there, the tradie show will be up, ready to go first thing in the morning. Mika, the Knights, you've got them alive or gone?
Gone! I've had him gone. I never had him making the 8 ever. They have defended much better than I thought they would this year, but I think the teams above them, Rabbits, Broncos, Dragons, and Raiders, are playing at least more consistent football now that they're getting some players back, or the potential to play more consistent football. So I've got them gone.
Yeah,
can I just highlight as well? In our prediction show at the start of the year, I actually had the Knights going down to the wire in the last game of the year in a packed house at McDonald Jones Stadium, Arthur family in attendance, and the Dolphins ending their season. And that's what's going to happen. So they'll get to that last game where they're still mathematically a chance, and the Dolphins will end it for them. Can't wait.
Okay. I reckon they'll be going way before that. I look at their next 5 games. Like, they won't beat Penrith next week. They'll struggle to beat the Sharks because it's away that the week after that. So they're already done. They'll be done before that. They'll be out of contention.
Let me dream, Joel. Let me dream.
All right.
Let me dream.
You can dream. Shout out, Jez. I know you're playing tonight. Good luck. I hope you're doing well. Do you want to quickly address this rumor, Adam, about you not feeling great or looking great last night and feeling a bit better tonight?
Yeah, well, I was on about 2 hours sleep on my birthday. What time we finished last night? 10:15. I didn't get that good night's sleep last night because it was my birthday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep tonight.
Get on that thing. Yeah, night's gone for me. South Sydney are next, 12th. They're on the 20-point mark as well. Minus 90 still points. Goodness me, their points differential was shocking at one stage. I can't believe this. They've won like 8 in a row or something, or 8 out of 9 or something, and they're still minus 90. That shows you just how bad it was. Alive or gone, Mika?
When's the trail back?
Oh, hang on. Sorry, yeah, they're draw the next 5 as well.
And they're
Raiders away, Sharks away, Storm home, Tigers away, Knights home. Still a decentish draw.
Oh, see, they could win a lot of them.
I think Latrell's back round 23 if all goes well, and nothing's certain with him. That's just when he goes back to the doctor. So he might then go back there and they go, it hasn't really healed much. You got to do surgery and he's done. So
I'm gonna go gone.
I reckon they've left their run too late. I'm going gone as well. I think they are
Yeah.
gone. Adam?
Bold prediction start of the year. Souths to go on a late run and make finals after having a shocking start. -90 makes me nervous. Their run home and the teams ahead of them on that cluster of points. I think they're alive, just alive.
Hang
Because
on.
some of those teams ahead of them play each other as well, which is going to be hard. They're going to need the results to go their way, but I generally think they can win all their games potentially. If Latrell gets back for that Melbourne game, they can win all their games.
It's a big if. They got Cookie just kicking him from the sideline at the moment. They had the beach sprinter playing everywhere in the back line, starting hooker, going to centre.
Well,
Fantastic.
he's an Origin centre. He's an Origin
He's
centre.
an Origin centre. He's an
You
Origin
get it.
centre. The Dragons have signed him to play centre now, so it's all good. Broncos 11th, 20 points as well. So this cluster is huge. My plus 25. So they've obviously been doing some okay things. Just haven't been able to get a lot of wins and lost a few close ones. Their run, the next 5 is the Doggies at home, Titans away, Cowboys away, the bye, and the Eels at home. So that's weird. They've got 3 buys in there. So they've got the Titans, Eels, and bye. So that's weird to have 3 late buys like that. But that's a decent draw. They're coming home strong. They're in a predicament for mine at the moment where they have to play all their Origin stars as well. There'll be no resting. So that means your Payne Haas's, your Carrigans, your Reece Walsh's need to play each and every week to ensure they keep racking these wins up because they need to. I've got them alive just because of that run at the moment. I think they can get some real momentum off the next couple of weeks and get some points up on those around them. But it's only a very small alive. I'm not convinced. Adam?
I've got them alive. The fact that Reynolds is back. If Reynolds gets injured, they're definitely gone. The for and against of the 2 teams below and the 2 teams above them is massive with that easy run.
Yeah.
The fact they play the Titans, Parramatta, and inconsistent Cowboys are starting to hit a bit of form, I guess. Their for and against could end up well in the hundreds, especially playing Parramatta up in Brisbane. We saw what happened last year.
On a Friday night too. It'll be 70.
You're going to be there. You're both going to be there probably. Wow. They're alive.
Mika, alive or gone for the Brisbane Broncos?
Yeah, I've got them alive. I can't. The only club.
There'll be a lot of that at the end of the year.
He spins.
The only club that is dumb enough to make a grand final and then not make the 8 next year is us. I can't see Broncos doing it as well. If their players stay healthy, though, that's the if. With that for and against, it's well ahead of everyone else in that cluster. It's going to get massively better after they play the Eels. I've got them scraping in. I've got them being in there instead of the Cowboys.
Yep. The Raiders are 10th, 22 points. So just one extra win to their name. They got the Bunnies this weekend, the Doggies, Manly, Cowboys, and Penrith. So some pretty hard games. A lot of teams that are in and around that 8 as well. So there's a lot of those 4-point swing games, which there's a lot of those in the run home, which I'm really excited for. Like, look at the Super Saturday this weekend. There's some cracking games. I've got them gone. I haven't been convinced about the Raiders for some time. And I know Fogarty's a big in for him. He's back at the right time of year, but I just think there's too many teams there where they're trying to fight the same battles and they're playing against some teams that are finding form at the right time of year. So I think they're gone. They're playing out of their depth for mine. Mika?
Yeah, I've got them as gone. 90 minus 91 for and against. I didn't have the Raiders in at the start of the year. They've actually done better than I thought they would. I thought the early season form where they were just playing tough, simple footy would drop off. But they had some good fill-in halves, and now that Fogarty's back, I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to get flogged week in and week out and miss out by a heap. But I think the teams around them, I can't see them making it. I don't think they play consistently enough.
Yeah, Adam.
Yeah, every game they lose, essentially, not 2 points dropped. It's -4 points for those teams they play around them. -91 for and against. I've actually got them drop back to 14th. I think they'll drop that bad. I think the Gold Coast could even finish above them. South Sydney, potentially Newcastle. Yeah, they're going to really slide 14th or 15th. Yeah, they're gone. I can't go on. Probably my voice is gone.
Yeah, your voice is gone. Ninth, the Dragons are just still there. They're just, I don't know how they've done it. I feel like most weeks are not playing great, but they're 9 wins, 8 losses, 24 points. All their buys have been taken. Their run for the next 5, Penrith, Storm, Dogs, Yuck, Titans, Sharks. That's not a good little five-game window at all. So they're gone for mine. I think they start to slide a little bit. That's a very, very tough couple of games ahead for the Dragons. But credit to them. I think they've been playing some good football. Flanagan started to turn them around a bit with some pretty no-name players, to be honest. Like when you look at their signings, was Raymond Fatala-Mariner and the guy from the Storm, which I've had a mental blank on, which shows you how good of a player he is. Eisenhuth. Just some really no-name sort of players that he just made work, and they're lucky they've had Lomax. No more Lomax next year, and Ben Hunt sort of has been good, but I don't think he's been a clear standout for what he has been in other years where he's full on had to carry the team himself. So, yeah, I think they slide a fair bit. Adam?
I think it's a successful year for the Dragons, even if they do miss the 8. They've turned things around big time. They were a basket case like us down the bottom in the last couple of years, and obviously Flanagan is doing a good job there. I know me and Michael both had our doubts about him as a coach and what he can actually achieve. He's done some pretty good things there. I think, next couple of years with some good young players coming through, they're a team on the up, especially if Lomax hits on. Never mind, he's going to Parramatta. Yeah, they're gone. They're said -56, that tough run. They'll be out of contention next 3 weeks with some shellackings. They finished playing us the second last round. I don't know who they play the last round, but at least when they play us the second last round, hopefully they're gone by then so we don't get smashed.
Probably still get we have no one left by then. I have no one left. Mika, alive or gone?
Gone.
Have you seen them alive yet?
Yeah, Broncos.
Yeah,
well, so in my opinion, there's only one team that's going to drop out of the 8. So I've only got one alive.
I just want to clarify. I didn't have South making the 8. I had South alive as potential to make the 8.
Yeah.
Well,
in the fight,
he's just going straight out 8.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm looking at the tabs. I'm looking at the tab numbers too, because let's be honest, the Tabs aren't in the business of losing money. They've got Dragons 101, Raiders 176.
When I get involved,
Broncos 15, Rabbits 81, Knights 201. So in the Tabs' eyes, the only teams that can make it are the Broncos as well. The Dragons 101. I don't think they'll make it. They've got plenty of tough teams coming up. Flanagan has. I think he was. You're right. We did have our doubts about him, but he was always going to make him tougher, and he's done that. I just don't think they've got it left in him to get over that line and into the 8 spot. But they've had a really good season. It's been a really good season for them.
All right, so with these teams, we obviously only think maybe 1 or 2 teams drop out at most. So we'll go through. If it is that team, just quickly say that they're gone skis. But if it's alive, obviously we're not saying alive for them all because we know they're alive. Top 8 or top 4 or bottom 8 or bottom 4 of the top 8. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I've confused myself there. But what's the best way to play this one? We'll go 4 or. Oh God, nothing. Help me out, boys.
Are you having a stroke?
I'm tired. Okay. I am tired. Oh shit!
Can you pat your head and rub your tummy?
I'll speak local Maitland for you. He wants us, if we think they're going to drop out, to say gone. If we think they're going to finish in the 8, top from 5th to 8th, or the top 4.
Yeah, okay. Clarify, because we all know most of these are alive. So, Cowboys. Obviously, I think they're alive. They've got a decent run at the moment as well. They've got the Sharkies, Tigers, Broncos, Raiders bye. A lot of these games as well in the run home are at home, which will help them out a fair bit with hopefully the weather starting to heat up a bit more back up there. I think they're alive, but I think they're only alive for a 5th to 8th spot in the ladder. They're only technically one win outside the top 4, surprisingly. They've got 10 wins and 8 losses, only 2 points behind the Roosters sitting in 4th, but I just think they'll be, 5th to 8th, Adam.
Go on. I'm dropping out.
Oh, you reckon they're slipping? Done.
I don't know. It's a hard one because I've kind of got another team dropping out. It depends on South Sydney, as I said, but yeah, I've got them dropping out. I don't think they'll be there. They're playing good football too. They're playing gritty football, but I just think,
they are. Yeah. They've turned it around a little bit because a month or so ago, you'd say their defense was horrible and they wouldn't be able to win those big games because of their defense, but they have started to turn that around a little bit. I've noticed the last couple of weeks. They're a bit more gritty, like you say.
They remind me of Parramatta last year that went on that bit of a run with those consistent wins, those tough games, but they used it a lot by the time it got to the point they needed to keep winning games, and that's what I'm worried about with the Cowboys. I don't know if they can keep these performances up.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm fucking completely off the Cowboys at the moment because that 2-point loss to the Dogs last week cost me my second perfect round in the tips within 3 weeks. So fuck that.
I got a perfect round.
Now, you got to remember, we all had the Cowboys like last or second last at the beginning of the year. So either way, they've had a pretty good year for what we all thought. I don't think they make it. I think they're the team that drops out for me. A couple of tough games, although they're very hard to beat up there. I thought, what's his name, the coach? Peyton. I don't like him either. He's the kind of guy that goes to the bathroom and does really stanky, messed up craps and then leaves without spraying and doesn't give a shit. Well, he does give a shit, but doesn't care. That's the kind of guy he looks like, right? I don't like him. I just feel like he's really arrogant. So anyway,
you sound like you know him too well. You know him too well.
Just the way he looks in his press conferences with the chewing gum. It's the fucking chewing gum.
Why are you following coaches around, walking in the toilet sniffing? It's a fucking weird fetish.
No, I said that's he looks like the kind of bloke. He looks like the type of bloke that would do that with his chewing gum. Fucking.
He just has something with him. I agree. There's just something I don't really like about the guy. Dolphins are 7th, 24 points. So just that those 2 points outside of the 8. Look, the missus might be listening to this and she's probably going to kill me when I get home. I've got them gone. Unfortunately. I think they've got quite a hard run home, and they've had all their easier sort of games at the start of the year. That game on the weekend where Katoa had pretty much a shot in front, 20 out, and didn't take it. I think it's going to bite him in the ass because that was a crucial 2 points, which I think could mean they missed the 8. This week they've got the Titans. Probably should get that one done. The Roosters, then the Warriors, the Bulldogs, and then the Storm. That's just their next 5. So that's some hard games where I wouldn't be surprised if they only win 1, maybe 2 out of those 5. And with the chasing pack around them, I think that's just, I don't think they'll win enough games. Adam, you got a smirk on your face. Here we go.
I just want to say if she gives you luck and I can give you some advice. I think they're gone as well.
You mean you can give fucking advice?
What to do after? So I've got them finishing on 28 points. I got them for 2 more wins for the season, as you said. Tough draw. And like I said, I think I can see Brisbane injury-free, winning 5 of their last games. That puts them on 30 points. So, yeah, Dolphins gone.
Mika?
I'd love to see him there.
Yeah, I want to see him there. I mean, I haven't got him dropping out. They've got a tough run, though.
Wayne will sprinkle some dust, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it'll come down.
He's doing that in South Sydney already.
Yeah, he's coaching both teams to the finals.
Yeah.
Did you see that? The fucking cartoon video that comes out every week, and
Yeah.
he's not coaching me. I don't talk to him. I talk to him 3 times a week. Shit like that. It's funny. Yeah.
I guess you could say he's
Right.
coaching.
Anyway, for me, it's thins up. I reckon they make it.
I'm not at home because I'm at Melbourne for work, so I'm not at that other place you're suggesting I am at. I'm doing a podcast, so it'd be weird if I was doing that at the same time. So just calm down underneath there. It's all good. Bulldogs 6th, 24 points. They've still got a bye to go as well, I think. Actually, no, they've done that. They run at the moment Broncos, Raiders, Dragons, Dolphins, and the Warriors. I think they're alive. I think they're a 5th to 8th team, though. I don't think they've got enough to make the top 4, but they're alive in this competition. Mika, I think it's their defense. I want to shout out to their defense. And we thought maybe at the start of the year that it was just because, they're up here. That's all well and good. They'll fade away here, but they've become a very gritty football team that are not scoring a lot of points, but they're in a lot of contests right until the final whistle. So credit to them. I bagged out their recruitment drive at the start of the year. I'll put my hand up and say it, but Phil Gould knows more than me and has proven that once again. So they've adapted to the new style of football very well, I think, that their whole side has. They just need to put a bit more points on the board to be able to really threaten that top 4, in my opinion. Mika?
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I think that the lack of points comes from a lack of a genuine half. Sexton's doing a good job, a better job than the previous ones they've had there. But it's their defense, hey? Like, they just keep turning up for each other. If I was Riles, I'd be sitting down Parramatta this off-season and making them watch fucking Bulldogs games all off-season. They just want to play and tackle for each other. Stephen Crichton's doing a fantastic job at leading them. I didn't think they were going to make it earlier in the season, but the way they've turned their defense around, I've actually got them in 5 to 8.
Yeah. Adam?
Yeah, I got them 5th to 8th as well. But I'm in about 5 or 6 games at the back end of the year. I think the only thing that stops them from making the top 4 is Cronulla's draw again. So, yeah, I've got them alive, finishing probably 5th.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Manly are 5th. They've just snuck up there after a couple of good weeks in a row for them. 25 points. That draw could be either a real hindrance or a real advantage to them in this final few weeks, and it might be what they need to get up to the 4 or miss out by 1 point. Their run at the moment is the Roosters, bye next week, Raiders, Warriors, Tigers. So a nice little patch coming up for them. Obviously, this game on the weekend's a hard one, but the Roosters, and we'll talk about that in a minute, their record this year against the top 8 side is not great. So the Manly Seagulls will probably fancy themselves this weekend. They're in some form. They're big name players. Turbo's back and looks as close as he can to his best self that he has for a long time. And that's an exciting thing, I guess, for a rugby league fan. Now that my team's out of the race, I can sit back and just enjoy some football. And he's a very good player that I really do enjoy watching when he is on. So it was great to watch on the weekend, him in open space, running around, setting up tries like he used to do. So I've got him alive. I've got him on the edge of the 4 if Turbo stays fit. That's the big asterisk to him. He's so crucial to them at the moment. And I think Cherry Evans might be a bit fatigued with after a huge year, State of Origin, the loss. It was good at the start of the year and maybe just needs a little bit of a break. So that puts a lot of pressure on Turbo and Brooksy to really step up. Adam, what do you got for Manly?
Yeah, 5th to 8th as well. There's a couple of little games there that can go either way. They've got, so they either finish 5th or 6th, depending on the Dogs. And they play each other second last round. Same thing also comes down to Turbo, how fit he stays, but they'll play finals football.
Yeah, I agree. Mika?
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting in 5th now, aren't they? So it's hard to see them. Well, they're only 1 point above the Dogs, Dolphins, and Dragons. I originally had them dropping out of the 8 because I thought they'd lose a few more games than they did through the Origin period. I guess at that time I was thinking Turbo and DCE and whatnot, but No, they kind of got there. They seem to be on fire at Brookie. I've watched a couple of games this year where they play at Brookie or whatever the fuck it's called these days. And like those Sunday afternoon games, they just seem to be able to rack up some serious points. They're for and against 97. Yeah, I'll go 5 to 8. Yeah.
Well, the
Actually,
for and against doesn't
entertainers-
really make a difference because it
They're
goes up one
entertainers
point.
this year.
Yeah,
Right.
and you're right. The for and against won't make a difference with that point. So yeah, sorry.
That's what I mean. I reckon that 1 point can either be a huge advantage at the end of the year, or it's going to be one of those ones that look back and go, geez, that's cost us the top 4 spot and be really painful for them. Roosters are 4th. I did talk about it before. They've got a very bad record this year against top 8 teams. I think they've only won 1 game so far this year when they're versing top 8 teams. They've also got a horrible record, as we all know now, against the Storm and Panthers. So when we're talking business end of the year, they just can't get it done. Their run home, or the next 5, is Manly, Dolphins, bye, Eels, and Titans. So another team with those 3 buys in a row, which is nice and handy for them to just get their players rested and really ready to go. What are you shaking your head for, Mika?
Do they play Parramatta again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
When's that?
thoughts exactly. Well, you haven't even seen our run home, have you? Like,
No,
it's not
I
good.
used.
It's not
I've
good.
usually got that in my calendar because I get on the piss with a heap of mates. But yeah,
Look at our
no.
next spot. Like,
Carry
just
on.
quickly off that, I'll go back to it just for Parramatta. We've got the Storm this week. We've got the Warriors over in New Zealand. We've got
Hang on, can you not name
We've
this?
got-
Stop looking. I can do this off the top of my head.
All right.
Storm, Warriors, Penrith, Roosters, Broncos, Dragons, Tigers.
It'll be spoon bowl in the last round. Us and the Tigers will not win a game until that round.
You know how I know? You know how I know that top of my head? I have nightly nightmares about the first 5 I had to mention. I wake up shaking. Do it again.
Anyway.
Gus, why are you calling my brother again? You've already called him the last
every
4
week.
weeks.
Every bloody week.
The Roosters have got the highest differential, 209.
Well, it's going to be
By a lot.
high
They're
soon.
playing. They're playing well. They just can't. I don't know. I still have them as my competition favourites, but just the weekend's game against the Storm is just really shaking me up a bit. I don't know what to make of it.
They'll be doing it for JWH. I reckon it'll be a Storm Roosters grand final.
Ooh, look out! So,
So,
what do you got?
yeah,
You
they're
got
in
them
the
in
top
top 4? You reckon they'll be top
Yep.
4?
Yep, I reckon they'll go above. What do we got? 26, 30. What's the Roosters run home again?
So you've got Manly this weekend, Dolphins, bye, Eels, Titans for the next 5.
I reckon they could
When they
potentially
play-
finish. They'll finish 2nd or 3rd. I reckon potentially. I don't know if they'll catch the Panthers. I reckon they'll definitely jump the Sharks. See what I did there?
Yeah. Adam.
Yeah, they're going to. I know what you're talking about. They're going to finish 4th because, as we know, Cronulla's run home is even better. Cronulla have got a ridiculously easy run home, so Roosters 4th. I'll just get straight into the next one and say Cronulla 3rd, just to save us some time because they've got an easy run home, but they could actually potentially finish higher, Cronulla. But I'll go through Cronulla's games from the last.
When's Hines back?
They're playing better
Last
footy
round.
without him, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
let's be
right.
100% honest. The bloke come back from Origin shot again with no confidence, and they are playing better football without him. They're not relying on him. They run, Cronulla. I'm going to give all the games. They play the Cowboys this week. They play South Sydney. They play the Gold Coast. They play the Knights. They play the Dragons, the Warriors, and then Manly. So you think they win probably 5 out of 7? Yeah.
Rabbits and Manly could do them.
They're in the top 4.
Yeah, so
They'll finish top 4. They'll probably be.
Hmm.
They'll go loss on loss once again and be adding straight sets. We're used to that now. You think they'll be top 4, Mika? You got them sliding further, or you've heard that draw? Now you're going to minor premiers.
No, I had them in the top 4. I just think them and Roosters will swap 3 and 4. So
yeah, okay.
Sharks 4, Roosters 3.
Yeah. There's a few people say that's a hard draw. I don't know if they're being serious or not.
Oh, really?
The Sharks one, that's easy. That is, you'd rather that than
How does that
having the
happen
Eels one.
every year? How the fuck have the Sharks had the easiest draw in the comp for
3 years in a row?
Because
3 or
Nico
4 years in
is
a row.
a really
they're easy.
nice guy. Okay, he's a really nice guy. No one can hate Nico.
100%.
Even the NRL.
Right. Penrith are second. The sleeping Giants have woken up. They've been poked. They get all their Origin stars back. They're 30 points. They're 2 wins off the Storm, who are flying at the moment. It's safe to say, I'll just say this, both teams will be top 4. I reckon both teams will be top 2 right in this competition. And it's hard to separate them both. As I said, I got Roosters just ahead of because of, I think what Mika says as well, a lot of players leaving, a lot of those emotions and getting him primed right at that right time of the year. But Penrith, they've got all their Origin stars back. They've got Cleary ice in his veins. Mary's off to the Olympics for a couple of weeks, so he has a few weeks to just purely focus on football. Probably have some late nights watching the Olympics at night time, but we all will be. So we're all in that boat with you.
Huge. He'll be doing these ones and we're going to look at those biceps.
I can't fault either of these teams. I think both teams are in this competition up into their eyeballs, and I'm really keen to see what they can both produce because they've both got some pretty decent runs home. Like for the Penrith Panthers, it's Dragons, Knights, Eels, Storm, which will be a cracker. Raiders as well. That's the next 5 for the Storm. Eels, Dragons, South, Penrith, Dolphins. So both should go.
They both win at least 4 of them each, don't they?
Yeah, well, one of them has to lose round 24. So
I'm gonna spoil it for you. I'm just going to give you my top 2 in the order now. I've got Penrith winning every game. I've got Melbourne dropping 3 games. I've got Melbourne dropping a game to Penrith. I've got Melbourne dropping a game to South Sydney. And I've got Melbourne in round 27 at Suncorp playing a Brisbane team that needs to win to play finals football. So I've actually got Penrith jumping ahead and finishing minor premiers and Melbourne finishing second. I'll go a week further, though. I've got the Roosters beating Penrith in week 1 of the finals.
Oh, look, can you calm down? Someone's done his ladder predictor.
Fucking Storm are 4 points clear at first place now, though.
Yeah. Storm are minor premiers
that's right.
this year.
But if they lose 3 games and Penrith win every game, that means Penrith finish 2 points ahead of them.
No. Storm will be minor premiers. Shut up. And like, and then
Sorry.
Yeah.
So if all Penrith have to do is beat them by 20 or 30 points or 20 points at Penrith, because there is no way, I'll say this now, there is no way Melbourne beat Brisbane at Suncorp in the last game with Brisbane playing to play finals football. It'll be penalty Broncos left, right and centre.
Big call.
100%.
So the only one that's questionable is South Sydney, with South Sydney still potentially playing for the season. Desperate teams. Like, you play against desperate teams when you're sitting comfortably in first. It's hard. Like, I know you don't watch it, but the AFL, the Swans have been playing desperate teams for the last 3 weeks, sitting 12 points clear in first 3 wins. And they're getting beat because these teams no, not choking. The other teams just throwing everything at them.
Plus, you're right. The Storm will rest players in the last round.
Right.
As long as they finish first or second. They'll finish first or second, so they'll be resting players. But the one thing you're forgetting
I'll ask you this too.
Call, shut up, hang on. The one thing you're forgetting about Penrith to win every game, no, is that Cleary's mind ain't on the job. He's in love, mate. He's in love.
I don't give a shit about that.
Thinking about footy.
He proved on the weekend that he's come up with clutch moments. I'll ask you this question.
Comeback game.
I'll ask you this question. If you're Craig Bellamy going into that last game, right? Would you rather you're playing at home, you're going to finish first or second. Would you rather play the Roosters or a Cronulla team that's gone out in back-to-back finals the last couple of years?
Oh, yeah. That's
exactly right. Penrith first, Melbourne second. Penrith about this. They got the ego. They're going to win that minor premiership. I don't think Bellamy's
about that, though.
Yeah, he's still
I think if you heard the buy round as well today, Brandon Smith was saying he was speaking to Harry Grant, and apparently what they've spoken about is they're not going to rest their players the last game. They're going to rest their players the game before that because they have to go up to Townsville, and he doesn't want everyone to travel up. So he's going to give them the week off versus the Cowboys, not the Broncos.
Roll into the finals. They're going to fucking start their finals charge early.
Because it didn't work for them last year. If you remember, they didn't come back and set the house on fire. So it didn't work last year. They're resting for him.
Yeah, fair call.
And if you think like players like Munster, he needs the kilometres under his belt at the moment. He hasn't played for most of the year. Like he's played, 3 or 4 games this year, if that. He needs to be playing. He can't keep resting him. Harry Grant's had a few weeks off as well. A lot of these players aren't peak form at the moment like other years. A lot of these key players and Pappy, they all need to play. I don't think they can have another week off.
Yeah, I still think Brisbane beat them no matter what. Even if they win that let's say they do rest those Cowboys players, that's still their 3 losses they need.
Yeah.
So he's going Melbourne first,
put a bet?
second.
Let's put a Martin brother bet on. Put a bet on. What's there at stake?
Guzman.
Mick is going Storm Premiers. Adam's going Penrith Premiers.
Family Guzman shout.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's all right. Sweet. First week of finals, a Guzzy shout.
Yep. We won't be watching our team.
Say yep, Mickey, and you're on.
Yeah. I said yeah.
Yeah, good. There you go. Mika and Adam Martin family bet. So that's it, guys. So hope
you're going to make it more interesting, not just a Guzman shout. Do you want to put Dad's TV on it as well?
Oh, you've already fucking got that, haven't you? I was going to say that, but no. Just quickly before you move on, we've been talking about draws and stuff a lot. There's been a lot of comments about easy draws, hard draws. I remember reading an article last year. I can't remember where I read it. I wish I could find it again. But basically, they were discussing how the NRL draw is the hardest draw to put together out of any professional sport in the world. They were comparing it to like NBA and all sorts of shit, because each club gets a say in who teams they want to play due to crowds, and like they want their, like Parramatta want to play Bulldogs twice and that sort of shit. What's that? Rivalry rounds. 9 gets a say, Fox gets a say, and NRL get a say. And there's not an equal amount of games. So some years you play the bottom 8 teams twice and the top 8 teams once. So it is a really, really shit unfair draw. It'll always be like that. There's nothing that'll ever change it. And the more teams we bring in, the worse we'll get. Yeah, I was just going off some of the comments and stuff.
Yeah, like the only way it's ever going to be fair, and they won't do it because they already play too much football, is 34 rounds or play each other once. If they can get to 20 games, 20 teams in the comp, one game will work. And quite simply,
I don't reckon that's enough.
I don't think it's enough either. But the way we go on in
a season.
Yeah, the way they're
your comments in, guys, your questions, because we're at that time of the show which people are starting to get familiar with, which is great. Questions are coming in.
The way
that leads us into this one. Do we think 27 rounds is too much?
Nope. They're professional football sport players.
I think it is.
No, they get 3 buys, and half of them are out injured. Yeah, that's what I was about to go with. Like you're saying, 19 isn't enough, but the way they're whinging and the way the world's going about wanting more money and player safe and all this shit, we're going to head for less rounds, and that's the way they make it fairer. I personally, the way I'd like to see it is 20 teams, or even with 18 teams, right? 18 teams, you do the division thing. They're going to have to do a division thing, a conference thing. Is that where they're going to do it? The bigger the comp gets. I know, it's shit, but it's the only way you're going to have a fair draw. But you play the teams in your division twice.
I'm happy for them to play everyone once, especially when we expand and get to this 18-team comp or whatever we're going to get to, and get rid of the buys and put a lot more focus on international rugby league, which I think needs to happen. I'd happy for them to make it a 18-round competition and have some extra weeks for rep footy and the like, and go from that. Because unless we're going to play every team twice, which is going to make it a 36-round competition, which is impossible to do, it's never going to be a fair draw. So the only way to make it a fair draw,
they're going to go to 19 teams, aren't they? So they get to 20 teams and play each other once, 19 rounds. With, let's say you have, during Origin time, you have full buys for everyone. So obviously makes a 22-week competition. If they did that, we need a very decent preseason comp, like an NBA-style summer league, or not just the Nines or something, like a proper preseason comp that people want to see where you have to play your players.
Yeah, I fucking hate the fact of just playing a team once through the year. I know we do that with some teams anyway, but I don't know. I don't like it. I want more footy. I don't want less.
And yeah, people talk about EPL, but they're not nothing like rugby league. The contact that happens in rugby league, where they're diving to the ground when there's a feather that touches them. So we can't really.
The NFL only plays 15 games, 16 rounds, 15 games, where everyone gets a bye.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a conference system. Play everyone in their conference, in their division twice, then play the other teams, which once again still isn't fair, but they do it completely different.
And then you might win the Super Bowl, but like there might have been a team in the other division that was better than you. So I don't like that either.
Yeah, but there will be.
Sorry, the international thing. I ain't ever going to buy an Australian jersey. Like, do we really care about international footy that much that we want it to replace week in, week out club footy?
I do. This year.
Really? Yeah, this year. But like, that sounded really like honest question. Like, do you want to watch Parramatta games?
I think we need to grow the game. I think we've got a chance to really grow international rugby league at the moment, and we just seem to, after each World Cup that happens, we all have this momentum built up, and the game does nothing with it, and it just fizzles out. And
here's one for you: we want to grow the game.
I think it's a pipe dream international game. It'll never be the standard that you want it to be, where it's competitive enough to keep people interested. It'll
Start
never
of the
happen.
year, 19 rounds, 22 weeks with the buys. Start of the year, top 8 teams from Australia, or you can't really do top 8 teams from England because there's only like 12 teams there, play each other in some kind of challenge there or something for a pool world champion. Because obviously they play that World Club Challenge. Same thing, it's based on the year before. That could possibly work. I don't know. Just if you want to continue to grow the game, it's international, but you're still watching your club team play potentially. Decent prize money, motivation more to finish in the top 8. So, yeah.
You know what they should do? Bring back the Nines. Far
yeah,
out.
I love the Nines. It's only a 2-day thing. Like, I'm talking something that needs to run for 4 weeks to make up for those rounds you're missing.
Well, see, I think that's why I don't like the preseason trials. I think it's dumb. That's an extra 4 weeks of footy we had. And why are we still giving them 3 buys?
I give a fuck. Up the Olympics.
Like, if they're playing footy, just let them play the comp, start the comp 3 weeks earlier, because the first 3 or 4 weeks of footy is usually up and down anyway. So let them fucking start 3 weeks earlier. You're already at 30 games now. Get rid of some of the buys.
That's what I was going to say. That, let's be honest, the preseason challenge or whatever they want to try and make a competition out of now is a joke. Scrap it, and everyone does enough things at preseason now. They play in club trials and stuff. I've heard of teams actually having little trials outside of things against opposition teams where that flies under the radar. There's opposed sessions and stuff happening. They don't need these little fairy tale games, these little pretend things. Just go start the comp.
Even a preseason comp. Like, if they're playing footy, play the comp footy. I don't care about
a weekend of nines, a week off, smack bang into the comp. Off you go. Everyone loved the Nines. It was a good, fun way to get going into the season. See some of the younger guys, see some of the experienced guys, good mixture of things. Off we go. It's a good way to start the year. Everyone's feeling good about themselves. Off we go. But that's all I've got to say on that matter. Give us one more question, guys. We want a non-footy related question, please. We always like to end on these ones. Please. I haven't seen Andrew in for a while. Normally he's the one that gives us a good question to end this, but I'm relying on someone else in there. Rob, Chris, you've all been pretty vocal. Rugby League Daily. Someone give us something good, something juicy that's non-footy related. And if you don't, you'll have to hear me ramble until you do, which you don't want to hear. Or Adam sing. I might get Adam to sing.
You know,
I'm also headbutting my undies, so if you could hurry up, that'd be great.
Why do I? You know what? I actually just love the Olympics. I dead set froth it. Love nothing more than laying on the lounge at night time, falling asleep, waking back up at like 2 a.m, and you just see some fucking water polo playing. I used to do athletics, so I love that whole thing, and I understand what the athletes go through and stuff, and it's a lot, and it's very unforgiving, and a lot of people don't appreciate and understand what actually goes on for them. But yeah, I love it. I love the sprints and stuff. I love the swimming. Swimming's good fun. I don't know. I know you boys get around it, or you couldn't give a shit.
No, I'll probably watch the Matildas with my daughter. I had some pretty cool moments with her in the World Cup last year doing that. But other than that, I mean, I'll watch it if it's on, but I won't go out of my way to watch it. Sorry.
I love it. I love everything about it. Especially, I like swimming. And swimming's only on an awkward time. I'm really excited for the basketball. Australia have a massive chance of taking out a medal. Actually, a big chance of playing in the gold medal match against USA. Depending how the draw works out, they got within 6 points USA the other day. So, huge move there.
Yeah, just quickly, the country we think will have the most medals, or obviously America's always favourite because they just put everything in. China's always
Trinidad
for that.
Who's on the
Trinidad and
roids this
Tobago.
year? Who's on the roids?
No, that's
Like,
next
is it
year.
China
That's
or Russia?
next year's the roided up games next year.
Oh, okay.
Last one is apparently related. We've got Troy somehow getting mentioned on this podcast, which please, guys, we're above that. But anyway, I love you, Troy. You know what? He's not innocent, guys. He has this stigma about him. I'll tell you right now. I'll peel back the curtain a bit. He's far from innocent. Go back about 2 months ago. You'll see a drunk rant on his page, and it's on, I think, the Talking Para one as well. You'll see just how innocent he is. He was off chopped. He's a pisshead. He'll have about 4 beers and be off his head. There's no innocent here about Mr. Troy Warner. I'll tell you that much. Adam, can you back me up, please?
Yeah, no. You get probably 2.5 drinks on him. He's turned into bloke that wants to fight everyone. I think Joel almost was going to fight him at Newcastle. So we can get him swearing for sure. We just need to. We'll go live after the Parramatta Dragons game after we've had him in a box and we drink him under the table. You'll see a really good side of Troy then.
Yeah. That's it, guys. That's done and dusted. Just Adam, you don't own a beanie, do you? No beanie for you.
I've got several beanies. They're usually laying on the floor because I usually wear them on the podcast.
It was too cold for me in Melbourne. I'm going to rug up.
I've got a cleaner now, and she comes and picks up my beanie and puts them places. So that's why they're not here.
I hope there's nothing on the beanie, you dirty mongrel.
No.
Good night, Mika. You've been great to see you end the episode with a smile. People were worried about you being a bit down in the dumps, but it's good to see you happy. So thanks, guys. I'm really keen for this weekend. Super Saturday is huge. I'm going to plonk myself on the lounge pretty much all day. Sorry to the missus in advance, but Saturday, book me out. I'm not doing a thing. But good night. Enjoy. Thank you. Love yous all. Go the Aussies. Go the Olympics. Fuck yous.